So today we're going to take an excerpt from Professional Knowledge, and the book number is NAVMC 2614. This was a compendium of knowledge that was gained in the early part of the Vietnamese War. The year of the information from this was 1965 to 1966. So today we're going to take an excerpt from this book and talk about mechanical booby traps. These booby traps will be made out of scrap material, and we will stress identification and how to get personnel out of these traps. The important part of this is how to extract people from these traps, because the way they're designed, they're all barbed, so they actually will hold people in place. This is designed to keep your forces out in the open while you try to extract this person so that the enemy can inflict more casualties on you. And then we'll discuss some of the updates on this stuff that I've seen over the years. And a lot of these traps came from food gathering, that the Vietnamese would use these as traditional traps for killing wild hogs and other animals. This is an angled arrow trap, and this is all made from salvage material. It uses a hollow bamboo with an arrow, and you have a large rubber band, and that rubber band is made from a truck inner tube. And then you have a release system, which it doesn't show you very well here, that goes to a tripwire, and this is angled to hit the prey in the chest area. Now, in today's world, you would probably take a steel rod and a piece of PVC tubing to make this, along with a truck inner tube. So this is an extremely deadly trap, and if you think about it, the diameter of the bamboo or the diameter of PVC pipe you could use is so small, this would be very hard to detect. Now, this is a spring trap, and the spring trap launches several arrows. These used to be real common, and the American Indians used these also. And when you look at this, this is also a tripwire release, and it fires multiple arrows into the target area. So you have the possibility of getting multiple hits. Now, this is something that's an explosive trap, and I'm just showing you this for reference because in today's world, especially with a lot of the urban warfare, you may see a return of the bicycle bomb. And what the Viet Cong would do was take a bicycle, and they put explosives in all the hollow tubing in a bicycle. And you could make a substantial landmine that way. And they would leave these, they'd park them in parking racks, and this was a tool of urban warfare. This next trap is usually a piece of bamboo, or in Western companies, it would be a piece of steel, and you put a cartridge case in it. And it doesn't really matter what centerfire cartridge you use. I've even seen these made out of shotgun shells, but you can take rifle shells, pistol shells, and the foot actually depresses the cartridge into the firing pin in the base. These are very hard to detect and very easy to make. These are made out of a lot of salvaged ammunition. So in an SHTF situation, opposing forces will use all kinds of ammunition they don't have weapons for to make these. Now, we're going to talk about spike traps next. And these are very easy to make out of scrap material, and they're extremely effective. Now, the problem with these is when you encounter them and you have personnel in them, they're all barbed. It makes it extremely difficult to get the victim out of the trap. So what happens is the victim is held in the trap, and it concentrates your forces trying to extract the victim, which draws people into the kill zone. So if this trap has an overwatch, they'll wait till somebody hits it, and then when you try to extract a victim, they will employ other tools for ambush purposes. Now, one thing of caution, the Vietnamese used to put animal feces on this, And you can figure that in SHTF, opposing forces will poison these. They'll use chemicals, they'll use rat poison, they will use excrement from all kinds of animals in order to create infection. This is a spike pit with a flat board in the bottom. This one is a rotating trap. So it has an axle in the middle, it has a foot pad, and then the spikes swing up off the ground and they impale the victim. Now, this pivoting spike board, I saw a report about 20 years ago where somebody put these in a mobile home and took out a SWAT team. So they cut the floor out and they put these at the doors and windows. And what happens is the person falls through the floor and gets impaled. So they're half below the floor and half above, which makes extraction really difficult. This is the Venus flytrap. Extremely easy to make, minimal materials, extremely effective. Now, this is made out of 4 pieces of wood. You could take 4 2x4s or 4 1x1s and make this with steel barbs. And what happens is when the foot, the arm, or the whole body goes through the opening, it bends the prongs down and they embed. So with all these spike traps, the problem you have is if you try to pull the person up, it embeds it further. So in order to extract somebody from this, you either have to cut the barbs off. So that tells you you need to have a pair of heavy cutters in your web gear and in your survival supplies. The other way is if there's still enough drop in the trap, you push the leg or whatever further down and then bend the barbs out. So never pull up. It will just make it worse. Now, this is the Venus flytrap can. And these were made out of metal cans that were roughly a foot in diameter. That way you could get a foot or a leg in it. Now, in today's world, I would think you would see this on a 5-gallon bucket because a paint can is really too small to get a foot in. So it would not surprise me in SHTF to see a whole lot of these that are made up of 5-gallon buckets with the spike trap. And that way it's extremely hard to get it up out the ground. You'll probably see these in SHTF. And remember, they are indiscriminate. So if you set these up around your place, you will experience casualties from them. Animals will fall in them. So this video is made as a way to detect and prevent your forces from falling in these when other people use them. So please share your thoughts. We'll see you on the next video.